All right, and welcome back to episode 022 of the OK Podcast, powered by The Strength Co. We're recording here in the upstate of South Carolina. It's still spring. The weather's nice. The price of Bitcoin is $68,058 doll hairs, and it's now supported by former President Donald Trump. Huge. He's all in. Yeah,
he went to the Libertarian National Convention or something like that, and was like,
that makes zero sense.
What, the Trump? Oh yeah,
Trump is a libertarian.
He
didn't make any sense as a Republican.
No, he doesn't. Yeah, exactly. But he was just going. I mean, you just go get votes, dude.
Yeah,
that's it. He's
but
like
Bitcoin.
Sorry, but his funniest line in his speech was like, do you want to be losers? I think you should be winners. Vote for me. I
was listening driving up to Diana and I went up to where would we go? Up further in the upstate. We actually didn't cross in North Carolina to fly fish, and we were driving up, and we're driving through like Pickens County, which I think was like 98% Trump supporters.
Yeah,
and an ad comes on the radio. Hey, listen, it's Donald Trump. Well, that's not my Donald Trump voice. I don't have my Donald Trump voice anymore.
That's okay.
I lost it because I don't listen to him anymore.
It'll come back.
But he's like, listen, Mark Burns has been your governor, your congressman. He's been fantastic, a terrific guy. Let me tell you about the wall in Texas. And he talks something like, what does this have to do with South Carolina?
No, he's just going.
And then he's like, he'll never let you down. He never has. He never will. He's a great man.
Never.
He's fantastic. And I'm like, you literally just said nothing.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, he just goes off vibes.
And the guy comes in, and I support this message.
Yeah,
anyway.
of course. But yeah, he's actually, it was kind of a big deal. I will just say for my Bitcoin update is that not just that it's Trump, but that he's a presidential candidate and former president saying at a convention that he supports it. He thinks it should be in the U.S. He supports people's right to own it, use it, transact in it, build businesses. At the same time, you have there's a Ethereum, ETH, ETF approval. And so for all the people that were like, the government's going to ban it, the banks are never going to allow it.
He said he would never allow a central digital bank, right?
Yeah, a central bank digital currency.
Yeah.
And all the libertarians and Republicans were like, woo.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth Warren's like, no.
Yeah.
So,
doesn't RFK also support it?
Oh, he's a huge supporter.
Yeah.
He was early.
So there you go. We're not political here. I don't identify as a Republican or a Libertarian.
I'm a registered independent.
For the record. But I do identify with RFK's bench press.
Dude, he was with Mark Bell. I saw in a video. And
I've had so many people send me that video. And I'm like, you don't think my algorithm was built for me to see this video? My dad sent it to me yesterday. I'm like, one, this is a month old. I think 2 months old.
At least.
Two, everyone sent it. And then, Dad, you didn't provide any context. I thought he was going to be like, should I be using the slingshot in my bench press? But
no, absolutely not. I tried one time when some guy in Blockhaven had one.
Yeah.
He was messing around with it. So I was like, okay, let me get a shot. I was
it's fun. It's like jumping on a trampoline.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the only
thing,
jump
higher.
I only see it useful for maybe injuries or something. I don't know.
I mean, there's maybe some thoughts for some overload.
Yeah. But that's way past.
And probably it's still overthinking at that point.
Yeah. Can you pin press it?
Yeah. I mean, it's whatever. It's
cool though. It's fun.
We don't have block height yet. Bro. What in the heck?
Bro, how are we going to know?
So anyway, Trump supports Bitcoin. RFK supports Bitcoin. RFK can outbench Donald Trump.
That's for sure. What should the strength standards for a 70-year-old president be,
Yeah, they should have a strength standard for a president. We could do a basic strength test.
If you can't bench 135.
Oh, I was going to go back further.
Oh.
So you have to walk upstairs to get into the gym. And then the doorway's 15 pounds.
That already cancels out a bunch of people.
RFK is now the only person that is running for president. The only person.
That's the only guy.
Yeah. Anyway.
And Jocko.
Massonomics had a good meme today. It said, people always ask if I'm far left or far right. I'm far from figuring out how to squat. And I was like, amen.
Brother.
And then here I am, first 10 minutes talking about Donald J. Trump. Forget about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, let's see.
What's new?
Yeah, what's new? Had a guy today I did a consult with that said he has followed me for a long time. That's why he signed up. But the main reason he signed up, the thing that put him over the edge, was he watched the video about doing extra bench presses on Saturdays. And he was just like, can I really just do that? He's like, I already have a starting strength coach. And like, they don't tell me to do that.
Could you sneak it in?
I'm like, just do it, bro.
No one needs to know.
Yeah. That was
what your coach don't know won't hurt him.
Yeah. No, it was pretty funny though.
That's cool though.
Yeah. But he was like, that video, I was like, I have to hire this guy. I was like, great.
Cool.
Yeah. Everyone bench press on Saturdays, 5x5, and then call me for an hour-long conversation.
Dude, that just goes to show no matter what you do, no matter how much you teach about everything, everyone's going to just love bench press. All the guys are just going to want a big bench.
Yep.
It's
He had some great other questions too, though.
Okay.
And the angle that he was coming at, was great. And he, started the combos like, I'm not looking to fire my coach. I'm like, I'm not looking to like take you from your coach. Actually, like, I don't have any coaching availability right now.
Mm-hmm.
But he was like tying in his schedule, can he do extra bench? How do, he's gaining weight at this rate. Is that too much? He doesn't want to end up being fat, but he's not scared to gain weight. A lot of basic questions. It was good. We covered a lot. And I always tell people when they call, I'm like, hey, we can either do 30 minutes now and I can give you some homework assignments. Cause I also break down their lifts for them. They like upload their lifts. And I give you a homework assignment and then we do 30 minutes more in like a month. Or I was like, sometimes we go the whole hour. And like at an hour, he was like, I'm so sorry. I took the whole hour. I thought I was going to have 2 sessions. I guess I'll get another one. I was like, right on, man.
Amen, brother.
So,
your favorite client.
So we helped that guy out, I think. Let's see.
What's a common thing is there something that people always ask you in these consults? Or like a common.
Yeah. I mean, no one ever knows how to eat for this program. Because they're like told they need to eat a lot, but they don't want to get fat.
Okay.
And so like it's a lot of it always comes down to like, but what do I eat?
That's tough because it's different for people too.
Yeah, it's different for people. So what I usually tell people is you already know what not to eat.
Yeah,
and then there's always a pause, and they're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, start naming things that aren't good for you: Doritos, hot Cheetos, Takis, ice cream, cookies, caramel, frappuccinos, syrup,
starting strength diet, baby.
Caramel milk latte macchiatos.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you already know that. I'm not saying you can never have these things. I like to eat pizza.
Right.
I don't like frappuccinos, but I like to have ice cream. Like, I'm not saying you can't eat these, but like you already know like what you're not supposed to eat. And then it's like, well, what do you need to fuel your body? Protein. You're going to need some fats, carbohydrates.
Yep.
Maybe we've kind of debunked that myth.
I thought carbs were fake.
Yeah. But for new lifters, I think you definitely you could do it on the carnivore diet, but it'd be harder.
It is harder.
But yeah, so we just kind of like talk through that. And then usually it's just talking like more habit, like, hey, tell me about your day. And then you kind of go through it. And
I feel like no one knows how much they eat.
No idea.
No
So
clue.
I hate calorie counting for people to lose weight or to gain weight. I hate it.
But
I really like people to do a 7-day food log when they start trying to make a change and log every single thing down to the breath mint that they put in their mouth to understand that when you go to Buffalo Wild Wings and you order 20 wings thinking, I'm not going to get fries, I'm not going to get bread, I'm doing the right thing here. I know it's fried, but it's just protein. Everything will be okay. And then you get like 6 extra ranches.
Yeah.
Ruined it. Would have been better off with the fries.
I'll just get a salad. It's 1,200 calories.
Yeah, salad's the worst.
Yeah.
I hate salad munchers.
Yeah. I mean, it goes both ways too. Like people who are overweight, they have no idea how many calories they're putting in. And then the guys who are underweight are always like, dude, I eat so much. Oh, dude, you don't even know, dude. I ate so much for breakfast. I had like a whole yogurt. I had like this half a bagel and then like maybe the other half too.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, when I was gaining weight, I was eating a sleeve of bagels at a stoplight. That's eating.
Yeah, it's a different level.
Pre-covered in cream cheese.
Yeah. Although you just take Ozempic and then...
There you go.
Done.
Reverse. We need to make Strength Zempic.
Strength Zempic.
Yeah.
Sell it on the Strength Co store.
Yeah, you shoot it intramuscularly.
I think this is called Trend.
Oh, dang it. We're late to the party. Time for a rebrand. But yeah, that's a common thing. Yeah. A common thing that I dig and find is that people don't sleep.
Yeah. I mean, that's hard though.
I mean, it is hard, but like I had someone recently that they run international businesses. It's hard, right? They got a lot going on. I'm like, hey, I get it. Like running a business, I totally get it. I'm like, but man, you want to sit here and talk about programming this change? Should I do a light squat day?
Right.
Is my knee slide okay? And you're sleeping 3.5 hours a night according to your Whoop.
Yeah.
And you're buying all these supplements. Like you got to find a way to at a minimum sleep 5 hours. And that's a minimum. Which means that you blocked off 6 hours because unless you're a robot, you don't lay down and just sleep.
Just boom, sleeping.
And wake up.
Yeah.
So, 5 hours is like a short.
That's like a long nap, dude.
No, 3 hours is a long nap. 5 hours is a short rest cycle that like if you usually get 7 in a night and you have one night that has 5, you're fine.
You're okay.
But it's not sustainable. If you're getting 3 or 4, like you might be dead.
Oh, 3 or 4. I mean, I don't know how long.
You can do it for like 72 hours.
Yeah.
Run off of 6 hours of sleep, but you can't do it forever.
My sleep's been rough lately.
Yeah, you only been getting like 9 or what?
Only 9, dude. I got like probably 5 last night, actually. Yeah, Fiance's sister.
Congrats, you made the Strength Co minimum.
I made it. Dude, I'm good, dude.
Yeah,
anything over 5, you're fine.
You're good.
Fine,
Better
dude.
do your 5x5 today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I wish I could right now, dude. I want a home gym so bad.
Everybody wants a home gym.
I miss the home gym.
You have one. It's just in storage.
It's spread across the country currently, but it exists.
It can.
Yeah, I just need to bring it back together.
Come back together.
Bring it back together.
Yeah. I think one other thing we should talk about before we get these guys on here, speaking of just thinking about like talking to people and common themes. And one thing that people, how do I put this? People really want to buy a program and a new thing to run. It's like they all want to do it. Like, hey, I want this 12-week program, and the intent and the heart behind it is good. They're like, hey, I really want to get stronger. I just need someone to tell me what to do. And so, so you get this kind of person and you say, okay, I'm here to tell you exactly what to do. What's your lifting background? X, Y, used to be a runner, benched in high school, whatever.
405.
Yeah, 405 with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my background. And it's like, okay, have you ever run a linear progression program, or have you run one in the last 3 years since you just told me you haven't been working out? No. Hey, watch these 2 videos. How to start starting strength. What is starting strength? Doesn't have to be starting strength. It can be strong lifts. It can be mad cow. Can't really be mad cow, but it can be a lot of different things. But something where it's like, hey, what's my baseline of strength? Let me add a little bit of weight each time. I'm not telling you got to run that program for 6 to 9 months, but if you haven't been getting strong, hey, do these 4 basic barbell exercises and add a little bit of weight. But no one wants to hear that. And I'm even like on the optimistic side of, hey, you'll run this for 4 weeks, maybe 5. Like, boom, we'll plateau you out a little bit. And then we'll give you like a percentage-based workout. What I like to call a how you feel workout. Like we'll
RPE.
Yeah, we'll give you something, but like I'm doing you a disservice if you come to me and say that your number one goal is to get stronger. And I know I'm not talking about grinding a 10-second rep 5 squat. I'm not talking about like running a hardcore lifting program. I'm talking about like, hey, you got to bend your knees and your hips at the same time. You got to go all the way down. That was really easy. Put a little bit more weight on. No one wants to hear that. Everyone wants a fancy program. I'll give you a fancy program. That's fine. But you're wasting your time. Like you should do it for a little while. And if Ripito scared you off, or if power lifters on, Instagram blowing their knees out scared you off, or if all those bulky CrossFit powerlifter girls that are just everywhere these days, all these bulky women scared you off, that's fine. But you can still look normal, be normal, not be obsessed with only lifting weights. And for like a month, you could squat and deadlift and add 5 pounds, and you would make a lot of progress. that you could then take into a cool, fancy program. So there you have it.
Do you ever put stuff in people's program that they're like, hey, this guy's not going to do this unless he gets to do like, I don't know, dumbbell flies, something
all the time. I mean, I like guys all the time. Whether it's a consult or either a new coaching client or they walk into the gyms, they're like, what about arms? And I don't even skip a beat. Back in the day, I'd be like, don't worry about arms. Just run this program. Now I'm like, oh, once you squat and bench heavy and deadlift heavy, you need to do 5 sets of 8 with 45 pounds on the curl bar, followed by six sets of 9. Nice. With 25-pound dumbbells.
Yep.
And like do that after your workout. And they're like, oh, okay.
You know, wait, I don't want to do all that. It's like, well,
no, they don't say that. They don't say that.
Oh,
they just pull rep 5 of their deadlift.
Yeah.
And they're like, I want to get the heck out of this gym.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, it's the same thing when a woman walks in the gym and says, hey, I do Pilates 7 days a week. Great. Keep doing Pilates. And I spend 3 days a week. Fantastic. Keep doing it. Starts lifting, starts getting results. Why is my squat failing? You still doing Pilates 12 days a week? Yeah. Well, maybe you're a little bit over, and so I try to let them come to that realization. But yeah, no, I put stuff in people's program all the time. I mean, and I don't always think it's bad. I actually don't care if you blast arms at the end of your workout. Zero problem with that. Go blast your arms. It's fine. Go run a mile after your workout. Well, I don't care. But
they're going to run into the problem that the whole point of starting strength solves, which is, hey, if you only have so much time, do the best bang for your buck. And then they have to discover that themselves. Right.
It seems like it. And I'm not even like on the diehard side of run this program for 9 months.
Yeah.
I'm literally like run it for 1 month.
Can you even do that? Yeah.
Run it for 1 month. And I mean, if a guy adds, 5 pounds a week, 15 pounds times 4, math in public, 60 pounds to his squat, pretty good.
Yeah.
Could he add 120 in 2 months? Probably. So hopefully he runs it for a month, likes what's happening, adds more. But anyway, you don't need a fancy program. What you do need is a down-to-earth tax consultant. And that's why we have our friends at bwtaxllc.com. As I like to say, it's never too early to start working on next year's taxes because I guarantee you the government is already working on figuring out how much money to take from you. So
honestly, you're late. Honestly,
May 28th after Memorial Day,
dude,
you are late.
You're behind, honestly.
You're behind. Anyway, thanks for listening to the non-political, non-biased, no opinions on weightlifting or people's behavior intro to the OK Podcast.
Amen.
Episode 022 of the
Okay
Guidons. Okay. Podcast powered by the Strength Co. We are so good at this. 22 times.
We're getting worse.
My bad. 2 times. Bingo.
Oh, bingo party.
Ooh. Is your mic okay, Trey?
I don't know.
Tell us about bath time as a mic check.
It was.
Doesn't it sound kind of weird?
Yeah, just check to make sure you selected the mic.
Ooh, on your Zoom.
On Zoom.
Don't you edit this out. This is what makes this podcast okay.
We're live, baby.
This is what people tune in for.
This is what
we watch Trey's eyes panic scan around the screen. I'm going to quit.
He's probably only been getting 3 hours of sleep a night and expecting 8 hours of sleep results.
Let me see. If I go to more.
There's a little microphone in the bottom left. There's an up carrot sign.
Oh.
Click the carrot.
Follow the carrot.
And then it's going to show all your microphone options. And
Select microphone, Yeti stereo. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. All right.
Oh, so
do I still sound funny?
Yeah. Back the camera up a little bit. I mean, the mic up a little bit. And
what about now?
I think that's good.
Tilt it a little more vertical.
Yeah, vertical.
Yeah, vertical.
What about now?
Even more.
Oh,
straight
yeah.
up. Straight up.
What about now?
Oh, yeah. There we go.
So Remember that bass fish that was in every Cracker Barrel growing up as a kid?
Yeah,
and
dude.
You pressed the
That
button.
Novice.
What song did he sing? It came out my birth year.
Oh,
Don't
gosh.
worry. Be happy.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
the bass
Be
came out
happy
your birth
now.
year?
No, that
Or
song,
the song?
did. Yeah. And then the
Oh.
bass would turn its head off the wall and sing. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah.
Grant's a lot younger than I thought.
Yeah. Well, you're 86, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm 88.
I'm 86 years old.
Yeah, 86.
Oh, I know what you meant.
yeah. Oh, I missed the
I feel
joke.
like it sometimes.
Kind of like when I said there's like 5 things you need
Garth.
to know. And 3 days
Yeah.
later, the joke registered.
Well, I think it hit me a couple hours earlier, and I was like, "Oh, I should probably
Yeah.
respond."
Anyway, you no longer sound like a bass fish, Trey.
Mm.
Oh, dang. That's what I was going for.
Yeah. So special guest on tonight. Woo. We'll introduce him later. We'll leave you in suspense for 10 minutes.
Not that special.
What are we hitting up in the preamble there, Jeff?
I think we'll just jump right in. Do we want to talk NBA?
Oh, you want me to go get my broom?
finals?
Yeah, I can go get
Yeah,
the broom.
baby.
Yeah, I just spilled something. Let's just sweep it on up.
Hey, get out of here, Pacers.
Yeah, seriously, Indiana.
R.I.P.
People from Indiana can't play basketball.
Nah,
Do you
dude.
think Mavs are going to
No.
sweep?
I don't know. I just opened the door and tried to peek, but I have the YouTube TV multi-view channel up, so I can only see the hockey game, which was in commercials. So I don't even know what the score is.
Brutal.
I do think they're going to sweep. I'd love the T-Wolves to. I mean, I want the Mavs. Sorry, Tanner and Tommy. I want the Mavs because Kyrie stomped on Lucky and was terrible when he played for Boston. And I just want to beat him. And I think Luka's the greatest, and I want to beat him. But I mean, I also like series. I'd love for the Wolves to stretch this thing out. Oh, we missed it in the pre-show. By the way, the Block Heights 845579. Shout out Zach Copley.
Just letting you know.
Is that good?
Yeah.
That's like saying today's date.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I
it
didn't
is good.
realize
It's still running. It's still going.
Well, that's good. I didn't realize
Yeah.
it. So cap space from the NBA, how they do it, I think it changes every year, right? And so it's determined by the revenue they brought in the prior year. So it's beneficial for the games to go to like a 7 series games because it makes more money, right? So it's funny how I could be completely wrong. It's probably someone needs to research this, but no one do it because I want to be right.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
But
Wait,
it's like,
hold on a
yeah,
second.
if
You're right, dude. That's crazy.
wow,
Looked
that's
it
real
up.
quick.
You know
So
who
it's
said
like-
that?
so if-
Abraham
so-
Lincoln.
So like some people like can't afford if the cap space is real small, then they have to like get rid of players or
Wait,
you know
are you
what I mean?
saying? Are you saying cat space? If
Yeah,
the
cat space.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
Nice.
Jeff's cat space looks pretty big.
Huge cat space.
Trey, just humor me and turn your gain down a little bit more.
You want me hearing you?
But don't turn your gains down. Just your
Just
Yeah.
the gain, not the gains. That's right.
Now talk.
Oh,
Yes.
Be careful. I get them confused all the
Yeah, I
time.
think that's better. I think that's
Yeah,
better.
a little hot.
It was a little hot. You were coming in
Coming
hot.
in hot, dude.
You know what? I think I'm just gonna go. I'm
No, we're
We're talking
Yeah.
NBA financials. No. Keep
Yeah.
spitting.
No,
We're supposed to talk
here.
NBA finals, not financials, Trey.
Oh, sorry, I misunderstood that.
What do you want to call BW Tax next?
Trey,
Oh.
Trey, does that fish sing in your background?
Yeah,
It does.
don't worry.
Be happy. I don't know. What do you think, Jeff? Mav sweep?
I think the Wolves will get one game. I don't see him coming back. It felt like
154-0.
dude, yeah, it's not the
Teams-
odds.
teams
Never tell me
0-3.
the odds.
Never tell me. Dude, I love that part of Lord of the Rings.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I kind of thought watching the game the other night when Anthony Edwards had that dunk, which was
massive.
just massive.
Massive.
And then I thought he was going to kind of like take over the game a little bit. And he kind of did for a couple possessions. And then no one else wanted to help him out. So then the Mavs just were like, okay, no, we're not going to allow you to do this. And just kind of like they stomped on the gas and went on that run. But
Well, live update.
Uh-huh.
They're up 30-27 halfway through the second. The T-Wolves are.
Oh,
okay.
so they came back. Mavs were
Got
down
her.
10 last time I checked.
Got ourselves a ball game.
Rangers are up 1-0 too.
Oh, the Texas Rangers.
Yeah. That's it's very relevant.
I thought you were talking about like the Texas Rangers.
And the like Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yeah.
Like
the
did you ever watch that
police.
show?
Like, of course I watched
Couple
it.
times.
You know how Chuck Norris does a push-up? He pushes the world down.
In the arms of Ranger.
I used to watch it, and my older brother would make fun of me and call it Walker, Texas Redneck.
Wow.
And
That's not even
funny.
nice.
Just call him a dork.
Burn.
Hey, dork.
Hey, dork.
Chuck Norris is a beast. Like he's a real beast.
Honorary Marine.
Really?
Yeah.
How's that work?
Him and John,
Grant gave it to him. Just now.
Him and John Cena.
How do you become an
John Cena,
honorary
nice.
Marine?
I don't know the rules. Look it up. Fact checker.
All right.
I don't know.
Can I apply?
Yeah.
John Cena was in a
Jordy.
movie called The Marine, so I'm pretty sure that's how he got it. Or,
We'll just make
Jordy's like
Chuck Norris, John Cena, and Jordy.
Jordy's like, I have to talk to 3 Marines once a week for 22 weeks for 2 hours.
Dude, I got to get something,
like,
man.
can you please make me a Lance Corporal?
What's even worse is he has to like edit all this and watch us.
I hear it twice, dude. I hear it hanging with you twice. What's like the lowest possible rank in the Marines?
Private.
Can I be a private, dude?
You want to be a Lance Cooley. Actually, let's just give him a St. Babs medal.
Yeah.
There we go.
I don't know what that is, but I like it.
I don't even have one.
Yeah, you do.
That's good. That's good.
Oh, man. I don't feel like we can make NBA Finals predictions until we know the 2 teams in it.
No, I'm with you.
So Jeff thinks Timberwolves are winning tonight.
I think they'll get one.
Well, he said they'll get one, and they're down 3-0, so I think they have to win tonight.
Yeah.
I also think they're going to win tonight.
That math checks out.
Yeah.
Homeschool, all right.
5 requirements for not losing the series.
Oh, God.
1, win 1 game.
There you go.
Hey, by the way, just update on my honorary Marine status. It says it's a title designed to reinforce the special bond between the American people and the Marine Corps by recognizing individuals in the civilian community who have made extraordinary contributions to the Marine Corps.
Okay.
What do you call this?
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Let's do some quick math. We turned 249 this year.
Check.
So we're going to do 52 episodes a year.
Check.
52 times 4 is 208. Add another 52, you're at 260, overshot. Anyway, you get the idea. I think when the episode drops that matches the Marine Corps birthday, if it airs on November 10th, we make Jordy an honorary Marine.
That's fair, dude.
That's fair.
I think that's fair.
And we record live from Tun Tavern.
It's like the planets aligning. Hold on.
Love it.
We can time it. We can make it happen.
Love it. I love it.
Why are you saying hold on, Trey?
I'd open another.
What flavor you got there?
Lime. Big fan.
Classic.
It's like, everyone stop.
Everyone stop. I'm opening a drink. I'm incapable of doing this myself. Well, I think we should get this special guest in here. He's ready.
Let's do it.
Because if we open up another topic, who knows?
Yeah, can you hear me?
There he is. Oh, wow.
Wow.
Look at this. Look at this guy.
Chairs.
Look at this guy.
Out of here.
Hey, brother, can you put some headphones on and illuminate yourself? Not my first rodeo.
I'm just trying to give the people what they want.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, you misspelled my middle name. It's Powell.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, Powell.
Yeah.
Powell.
That was a Texas pronunciation.
That makes more. That was a Texas.
I have
Texas
never in my
spelling.
life until now. No one's ever asked me how do you spell Caleb's middle name. So that's
Learn something new every day.
yeah. I was like, oh, okay.
Well,
I changed it to Al.
Yeah, Al's the good one too. Okay, good. You had the pre audio on. So if you're wondering why we asked Trey what Caleb's middle name is, it's because this week's guest to the OK podcast is Caleb Powell Gottlich. In Texas, they say Caleb Powell Gottlich, something like that. So Trey's brother is here. Thanks for coming, Caleb.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're
Scraping the bottom of the barrel.
You're in your scrubs. Are you guys recording a new season or what?
Yeah, exactly.
Dang.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I don't know how in the weeds you want to get. I'm a orthopedic resident in West Texas. In my last year, I guess. It's a 5-year training program. Moving to New York next year to do a fellowship.
Oh wow, that's a big jump for a Texas boy.
Yeah. We lived in Baltimore. We lived in Baltimore for a year, so we're excited to go back to the Northeast.
Baltimore.
Yeah.
Baltimore.
Maryland.
Pal.
Yeah.
So you're a resident of West Texas and of orthopedic school.
Correct. You got
Dual
it.
residency. Nice.
Yeah. Well said.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. Classic. Okay. So you're about to finish school, go to New York, and then what do you have? Like 2 more years of how long's the fellowship?
Fellowship's a year, but I'm planning on doing 2. So I'm applying to my second one this year, but looking at maybe London.
Oh, nice.
Whoa.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
You sound like you're from London.
And during the fellowship, do you like do your job or like I kind of have an idea of like doctorism.
I think it would be.
I have no idea what it
I
entails.
think it would be beneficial to kind of explain in a briefly like the medical school track, and I can take a stab at it if you want me to.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
even my family doesn't really have a good idea. 4 years of undergrad, 4 years of med school. I did a 5th year. I did a research fellowship, and then you apply for a residency. You get into whatever subspecialty you elect to pursue, and they're all different lengths, but all the surgical ones are at least 5 years. Yeah, so orthopedics is 5 years, and then like 95% of people do a fellowship, and so those are generally a year. And more people are starting to do 2 fellowships, but it's still not that common.
So you do kind of. Oh, another cat.
Yes.
Oh my goodness! What kind of cat is that?
Oh,
Siberian.
nice. Siberian.
So many cats in this podcast.
I know. Let's see if I have mine. I would love
Cat
to do
cast
I'd
over
love to
here.
do a cat flex right now.
Yeah.
He's
But
chilling.
I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. So like after you do your medical school, you do your rotations to figure out kind of what you want to do. And then you do your residency. And then within your residency, you kind of do rotations within that practice, right?
So yeah, again, I don't mind getting into the weeds with it. I don't know if it's kind of like the marine stuff where there's probably a very small group of people who are actually interested, but yeah.
Are you saying you're not interested in our previous episodes?
Long time listener, first time caller.
First time, long time.
I've listened to almost all of them.
Oh, thanks.
No, but
Okay.
But med school, it's 4 years. 2 years is preclinical, so you're in the classroom, and then the last 2 years is all clinical rotations. So you'll do all your core rotations, which are like family medicine, internal medicine, general surgery, psychiatry, OBGYN, and then you can do electives.
What's the coolest one?
The coolest rotation to do?
Yeah.
Depends on what you're looking for. I mean, like coolest, like in terms of experience, I thought my orthopedic oncology rotation was the coolest, which is like bone tumors and muscle tumors. And that's what my second fellowship will be in.
Oh, man.
But coolest as far as lifestyle, like psychiatry is hard to beat. You're done by like, it's like 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. every day. And
that's the only time people have issues.
Yeah.
Once they get to 2, they've either got to figure it out or they just like, go to the bottle or something.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Personal experience there or what?
No. Yeah, no. 9 to 2, 9 and 2. Wow. We got a real live doctor in the house. Okay. I have a real practical question.
Yeah.
And you don't have to like tell your specifics, or you can if you'd like, but you hear like how much school is, particularly medical school. And then you hear like how much doctors make, once they become doctors. Like,
sure.
What's the average? What's yours? However you want to play it. Like how much for you to go through school, do the fellowship, go to the end, you have to live I don't think you're getting paid right now, right? You're paying to learn.
I'm getting paid. No,
you are getting paid. Okay.
Yes.
So like how much do you rack up? When do you start to recoup some? And then do doctors start actually, like, do they pay their loans off in 5 years, 15 years, 20 years?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. It's really multifaceted depending on what you're interested in, where you're willing to live, things like that. I mean, undergrad, it's similar to undergrad, right? A&M is like one of the cheapest schools.
Are you an Aggie?
Yeah.
Gig 'em.
There you go.
Whoop, farmers fight.
You got it. But like A&M's medical school is like the cheapest in the nation. I mean, it was like $8,000 a semester.
Okay.
But I did my research fellowship at Hopkins, and that's like $90,000 a year.
Oh, yeah. I went to school with Johnny Hopkins.
Yeah. So it's very variable. I mean, I'm lucky that my parents put aside a 529. I got some scholarships. My dad had the Hazelwood Act, and I stayed in all state schools, and so I had no debt coming out of med school.
Oh, so you're out of med school debt free?
Yeah, undergrad med school debt free.
That's amazing.
You're smart.
Lucky, I think. Yeah.
Working the system.
Yeah.
And then in residency, it's variable depending on where you are. You start off generally around like 50 a year. And then you get an annual salary increase. If you're in like California, New York, they give you, slightly higher salaries, but it's just to offset the cost of living. So by the end of 5 years, I think I'll probably be making somewhere around 70. And then my fellowship in New York, they're paying me like 105.
Okay.
But that's all like very dependent. The other fellowship in Baltimore was going to pay me like 65.
Okay.
So it's just very variable. And then if you practice in like lower socioeconomic areas or things like that, you can get, if you do it for a certain amount of time, they can defer all of your loans and stuff like that. So,
okay. So it's not like equal playing. If you're a doctor, once you're all done in West Texas versus Hollywood, it's not the same.
Not the same.
If you're in a bad part of West Texas, then like you may have some benefits that you can.
Yeah.
Because they want good doctors everywhere, even for poor people, as it turns out.
And I mean, a lot of the rural places, they'll pay you more to come because nobody wants to live there. And so in places like Dallas or where I was looking at going, it's so competitive that you're getting paid proportionally less. And then again, this is really deep into it, but you get reimbursed in like a procedural field like surgery based on something called RVU, or a relative value unit. And there's the CMMS, or the accrediting kind of governing body federally, sets these kind of arbitrary RVUs like per procedure. So if I were to go put like a nail in a femur to fix a femur fracture, that's a certain amount of RVUs kind of throughout. And then when you sign your contract, you are kind of negotiating how many dollars they're going to pay you per RVU. And a lot of times they'll have a threshold, like you have to get 10,000 RVUs a month. And then once you meet that threshold, then they'll say for every RVU over that, we'll pay you like a higher percentage back per RVU. And so like one of the guys I work with out here, I think his threshold is like 8,000, but he gets like 16,000 a month. So his quarterly bonus is like $250,000.
Nice.
Okay.
And so, I mean, depending on where you practice, you can make a lot of money, but a lot of it's like kind of an eat what you kill type thing in private practice, where the more you work,
I like it.
There you go. The more you work, the more you get paid. But in academic settings, like what I'm going to do, a lot of it's salary oriented. So we're going to pay you $400,000 regardless of how productive you are, but we expect you to be this productive.
Okay. Before we leave the doctor stuff, when we get to the cool pal stuff, I just can't stop saying pal. At what point, you mentioned competitive, right? Like Dallas competitive. Like, so everyone finishing their residency, their fellowships, whatever, obviously there's like a resume of you went to Johns Hopkins, you went to wherever it's not as good, you went to MUSC, like you went to different places. Like there's always like some pedigree from the degrees. But at what point in a doctor's career is it like, whoa, your body of work means that like we want to pay you way more? Or does that happen? Like, cause you hear of like, oh, like my dad, when I got my knee replaced, I went to MUSC. It's the top Mako knee surgeon in the US. I have no idea if that's true. Everything's the best and the top with him. But like, I assume someone is regarded as the top knee replacement doctor and either gets more clients or gets paid more by the hospital to be there, or I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of that is dependent on what track, if you're doing private practice or academics. In private practice, it's very much, if you're the best, it's based on volume. So how many surgeries you do per year. And for like knee replacements, I mean, I don't know, maybe you're doing 600 knee replacements a year or something like that. But that's probably not the highest, but
sure.
But I think once you start hitting a certain volume, your kind of regional and eventually, national potentially reputation starts to advertise for you. And then you can start to pick like, hey, I only want to do knee replacements on BMI below 24, no, other comorbidities, no diabetes, no smokers, all this stuff. And you can be more selective when you're starting out, you're, taking general call a lot of times. And so you will pick up trauma cases to try and supplement your income that way, because you don't have the market presence, I guess.
I see. Oh, that makes sense.
But if you're in an academic setting, a lot of that's driven based on what meetings you're speaking at, what publications you have, how important are the publications you've done, what grant funding you have, things like that.
Man, Trey, I feel like we could all be doctors by the end of this.
Honorary doctor.
Honorary doctors.
Honorary doctors.
Yeah, honorary doctors. It's just like honorary Marines.
I have an orthopedic question.
Send the orthopedic.
All right, send it.
The entire internet has told me that squats and deadlifts are bad for your back. Is this true?
Yeah, it's a yes or no question.
If you say yes, I go out of business.
Hamlin's told me everything's bad for your knees and your back.
Everything.
It's just one of those things where you, I think you have to balance the risks and benefits, right? There's some publications that are saying, as long as if you think about it from like a mechanical alignment point of view, like just take your knees, for example. The more motion you do, right? You've heard maybe like motion is lotion, where the more you move, the better it is for your joints. And that's kind of because the articular cartilage of your joint is nourished by its synovial fluid, it's avascular. So it's the fluid that's inside your knee. And the more you move it, the more you're constantly bathing those chondrocytes in synovial fluid.
He's literally speaking my language.
And so, but that's under the assumption that your mechanical alignment is perfect. Any aberration in your mechanical alignment, you're stressing the cartilage asymmetrically or maybe, non-geometrically in relation to your articular surface. And you're creating kind of hot spots of focal pressure, which is going to potentially damage the cartilage. And so it's like a balance of, are you going to use it enough to nourish it, but not so much that you wear it out, type of thing. If your alignment is not perfect, if your alignment is perfect, you could do basically whatever you want to do, in perpetuity. Nice. And in my viewpoint, the back is like similar. You need to make sure you're doing things safely. You need to make sure you're not neglecting like your core. You need to make sure that you're loading things in maybe more of like a mechanically advantageous way. You're not putting yourself at increased risk by doing things unsafely. Like if you take like power lifts, for example, and you do them in like a CrossFit type of way, where you're doing a power movement, but you're doing it for endurance. I think, in my opinion, I don't know how many people would agree with this, but you're kind of like negating the whole principle of the movement because you're doing,
brother. Preach. Preach, pal. Preach.
I agree with this.
Yeah. So you're doing a power lift, but you're doing it for endurance, and that it's not the goal of the training movement. And so I think you're putting yourself at an increased risk in that manner. But I think it's finding a balance and doing things in a smart way.
So I know how to get him to like give us the non-doctor answer.
Okay.
Do you deadlift?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there it is.
No. Do you deadlift somewhat heavy?
When I can, yeah.
Okay.
What's your PR on deadlift?
Like 515.
Yeah.
Okay. Case closed.
Case closed. Okay.
And that's for a single, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you ever deadlift more than like 6 reps?
If I am going really light, then like 225, then maybe I'll do, more reps, but I won't do more than like 12 to 15.
Sure. Yeah. All right. I think we're on the same page. Good question, Jordy.
Yeah.
Great question.
Yeah. So we do this thing every week. Every week we have a guest, and every week we're so organized in how the show's going to go. As
So
you know, because
organized.
you listen to it, we all ask the person a question. So Jordy just started off. Now it goes over to Jeff to ask the doctor. This week's segment is called Ask the Doctor.
There you go.
Dr. Powell, you got a question from Jeff coming.
Okay,
I expect big things from Jeff.
Not really a doctor question, more. So there's a big rumor going around. Big rumor going around the internet that you caught wind of Trey's training progress. So you took some of your doctor money, siphoned it off to the adoption agency to fast track their application. So 2 babies would show up, 2 twins would show up and just totally sabotage Trey's training so he wouldn't catch your PRs. What do you have to say about this?
It's a big win on the internet, huh?
Big on Reddit right now.
It's all over r/Gottlich
subreddit. I'm all over it.
The OK Gottlich subreddit.
Yeah,
I'm the moderator.
The long game. It's the long game, Jeff. Chess, not checkers, Yeah.
Didn't deny
Trey
Answer the
has
question.
always been much more like naturally athletic than me. Trey will like do something for a very short amount of time and just get really good at it. And I am not that way. So
It's called peak male performance.
I need something. I'm not a doctor, so I need something in this family.
I know the feeling.
Okay. So,
hey, don't let him sell you shot. He's pretty strong too.
Yeah.
we know you have a pretty good training athletic background, right? You did some triathlons and stuff.
Did an Ironman.
Yeah,
Which one did you do?
Lake Placid.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, serious.
Ooh, all right. What's your favorite? Bike, swim, or run?
Bike.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm so bad at swimming. It's crazy. And
You made a great Marine.
Yeah, literally my like training regimen for swimming was just like time in the pool. It was like I didn't have coaching. Yeah. So I would like when I was peaking, I was doing an hour and a half straight twice a week. But yeah, it actually my half Ironman swim time was like 44 minutes and my full Ironman was like 109 minutes or something or an hour and 9 minutes. So
oof.
Okay. Dang.
I feel like it improved. And then the
definitely.
running, I'm just terrible at. Like there's nothing I can do gets me better at running.
How big a boy are you down there in Texas?
I'm like 5'11", 225 right now.
Oh man, you got a can of
Good
whoop ass
size.
inside of you.
Yeah.
Meat
I like
wagon, baby.
Yeah. That's what they say down in West Texas.
Yeah.
All right, Trey, hit Dr. Powell.
Oh man, I was going to see if you had any. Actually, I was a side note. Do you remember this for Grant? Grant, you remember that 5'11" doctor, that girl, redhead?
Yes, the MO. She was Navy.
You remember her?
Yes.
So Caleb went to a wedding, like his brother-in-law's wedding. I think it was and she was there. And she goes, I hate Trey so much.
Yeah.
She does not like me.
What did you deny the flu shot?
I know, no, it's definitely warranted.
That's why she hated me, because I was like, I'm not doing the flu shot. And she's like, what do you mean? I was like, why would you inject me with the flu? And then I took the flu shot. But I just, so Chance, I was like, this is Dr. Confidentiality, right?
Yeah, she didn't like anybody, I guess.
Yeah, she didn't like
wasn't
anybody.
just me.
Yeah.
I mean, the logic was there.
Yeah.
Solid.
So
I'm going to see if you usually have a pretty good story or two from whenever you have like a patient come in or you're on call or something like that. You got some clowns who come in the middle of the night. I didn't know if you had any good ones.
Oh man. I haven't had any good ones. I just come off a week of vacation, so I don't have any good ones recently.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite one? I remember there was a guy who was complaining about chest pains. And
let me ask you a question, and then I'll answer it for you, Trey.
Go for it.
No, I'm just kidding. That's I'm just messing with you.
Wait, was it chest pains and then what? I don't remember this.
And then he was like, and you asked him like if he had any caffeine or something like that, and he said he had been doing cocaine.
Oh, yeah.
That one? That's just a normal Monday.
That's pretty typical. I don't know. We had a guy come in a couple weeks ago who he was shooting meth up in his hand, and because he blew all the veins out in his arm. And
I hate when that happens.
And his hand was just like grossly like the skin was falling off his hand. There were maggots all on his hand. That's I'm trying to
hilarious.
Think of a good one. There was
sweet dreams.
There was a good one probably 3 years ago. Not funny, I guess, but there's there's a decent like cartel like drug presence in West Texas, and there was like some rival cartels, and one of the rival leaders had broken into the other leader's house and like shot him and attacked his wife with a machete, and she came in and like her hand was like cut off, and that was like she was like all hacked up from her upper extremities.
Dude, I feel like you did not understand the assignment of funny.
That was hilarious, man.
West Texas, aka Northwest Mexico.
Yeah.
The cartels. I guess it's back to me. So, what year did you graduate Texas A&M?
So I was class of 13. I ended up I double majored and minored, so I ended up graduating in 14, and then I did a master's in biomedical science, and then started med school in 15, and then I took a year off in 19 to do that research fellowship.
Okay, so you arrived in 09?
Yeah.
So Trey was a senior?
No, Trey was
I was a junior. His freshman was a junior. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But you weren't in the Corps Cadets?
I was.
No, he was.
You were? Okay, you were in the Corps Cadets. So like, were you guys in the same battalion? Or were you guys in the same company?
Same unit, yeah.
Okay, I always wondered how that was, because like at the Citadel, if you have a family member, you can go in and you can be like, hey, actually my youth pastor from my church was like, you want to be in Delta Company, because when they do parades, everyone goes, Delta Frat, and they go, D's nuts. And I was like, hell yeah,
that's
brother.
That's what sold you.
I want to be in Delta.
People.
No, what sold me in Delta was that it was in 1st Battalion, and 1st Battalion had won intramural sports for like 15 years straight. And like it was like all the athletes were in 1st Battalion. Anyway, that's what I liked about it. But I always wondered, because you'd see guys like, brother would be a junior, kid would be a freshman, and we'd always like mess with those kids more. And then like when their brothers would get mad, then we just like pick on their brothers, because it's like, come on, you wouldn't be a junior if you were never a freshman. Like what was like in Aggie land? What do you guys are mice? Rats?
What?
No, that's VMI.
Fish.
Fish. You're fish. You're fish. You're fish.
What small animal?
Yeah, you're fish.
Mice.
Don't worry. We're knobs like a doorknob. So
We should officially change that to mice now.
Yeah, I got nothing to say. So like when
You're
you're
squirrels, I think. Or-
when you're what company were you guys in?
C2, Old Army
C2.
Cock Company.
Did you guys take care of Reveille?
No, that's E2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So sorry, Caleb, but I have an enormous amount of Texas A&M knowledge that I should.
His brother-in-law was a yell leader.
In 08, you missed it. You missed
Dang.
it by that much.
Too bad.
Head yell leader, Trey. Head.
Oh,
Wow.
excuse me. Yeah.
Head. He led midnight
Right.
yell. What was some like interactions when you were a fish? Trey's a junior.
I mean,
If any.
I feel like he mostly ignored me, honestly. I don't know. Do you feel like
Did you guys get along in high school? Like you've always
No.
been like friends or no?
No.
I would say no.
I don't think we got along. Well, I think later in high school we started getting along.
I mean, I think
I
it's
think
pretty
it's-
normal. I have
I
three
think
brothers.
it's once I left,
you
and
were
then
cool.
Caleb had some
Maybe.
space from me. Caleb was like,
Maybe.
oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we didn't get along at all, really, before that.
It's typical
Yes.
brother stuff. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Eh.
that reaction was
Jordy,
Trey,
quick,
you
hit him with
chase
something
the
from left
branding
field.
iron.
Is this a psychiatry rotation? I have a random question. This might be like kind of selfish. You might have to bill me for this, but so my dad got a hip replacement at a pretty young age. He got it at, I think he was 50 years old. And nothing, it wasn't like an injury thing. It just hip started hurting. Next thing you know, he couldn't walk. He goes in to get assessed. He has, and the surgeon's like, yeah, you have no cartilage in your hip. Like it's just not there anymore. He's like, that's not good. But my question was this, now I'm going to sound real dumb here, not a doctor, but is that a genetic thing that I have to worry about? Like, am I screwed at 50 years old? I'm going to have no cartilage, or is that completely fake?
Impossible to say from that really brief.
That was such a detailed description, dude.
Yeah.
Diagnose me.
If you squat, you're
Probably.
good.
Probably not genetic. If I am just shooting off the cuff, I don't know what genetic
doesn't-
trait that would be,
Yeah.
but probably like he either probably had hip dysplasia like from a young age, which like predisposes. Like I don't know if he did some sports as a kid that are really intense or something. Like sometimes you'll see it in gymnasts.
Light
not
tennis,
saying-
and he had a desk job. It wasn't like he was an athlete. Yeah.
yeah. He might have
Best
had
job probably did
dysplasia.
it.
Or you can get something called avascular necrosis of your hip, which, you know, can happen when you're younger. Usually there's like some inciting factor like
Yeah.
like corticosteroids or something like that.
Okay. I didn't know if it was one of those things where it's like, oh, if your parents got replacements on joints, you're more likely to, or is it that's like a completely unrelated thing?
No, probably unrelated.
Okay, cool. I'm in.
Yeah.
Back to squats.
Congrats.
Yeah, you made it.
Nice.
I made it.
Congrats. Jeff, Jordy's not a doctor and you're not a JTAC. You got another one for Caleb?
I'm not a JTAC either, dude. This sucks.
Or an SSC.
Oh, dude. What am I
Dang.
doing?
Wow, poor Jordy.
boom, boom, boom.
What's it like? What is there like a standard like first surgery that they teach you? And like, what is it like doing like your first?
Yeah.
I'm guessing there's someone there when you do your first one. They're not just like, all right, you watched this video on YouTube.
Watch
You
the
got it,
YouTube.
Caleb.
Yeah, it's not the Marine Corps. Yeah.
But like,
Um,
okay, what was that very first one where it's like just you in the room, kind of like,
Man,
like, oh,
so
here we go.
The very first time I ever like cut someone with a scalpel, I was at Hopkins doing that research fellowship. I
I
was
thought
in
you were
OR
going to say
one
I
day
was
a week.
15 and it was Trey.
Yeah.
In high school.
No, have you heard this story about Trey cutting our sister?
No.
No, let's get there
No.
next, though.
Yeah, we don't have to.
You're on a roll right now.
Hitting that
we can skip that one.
Give me Trey's question.
No, but I was doing this research fellowship, and it's a lot of times you have these kind of like easier surgeries. So they'll do stuff like either wash out or like if there's an infection and you have to cut something open and wash it out. I was doing, it's called a removal of hardware. So if you go in and put some metal in and it has to come out for whatever reason, then it's just called removing the hardware. And so I was doing that with this guy at Hopkins. He's like a big dog, really well known in the field.
Roof, roof.
A lot of RVUs.
And, yeah, a lot of RVUs. And
he's the one that named removing the metal as a surgery.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it was on this young girl because he was a pediatric orthopedic surgeon, and they hadn't like fully, she was like anesthetized, but not, she could still feel stuff. She just wasn't like
homeschooled. What does that word mean?
She was like put to sleep under anesthesia.
Okay. I got
but
it.
she was still responsive to some degree, depending on the level of like anesthesia.
What?
And so I was like freaking out, like really nervous. And I like made the initial cut, and she like, her leg like jumps off the table. And I was like freaking out. And then I don't know if I should tell you the first real surgery that I did. This makes me sound like a terrible surgeon, but
No judgment here.
Better than me.
there's a fracture that's really common in orthopedics called an intertrochanteric fracture, where if you look at your femur, the shaft kind of goes up to the ball, for the ball and socket of your hip, and the intertrochanteric is like right through my watch band, kind of like right at at the curve of your femur. And it's really common in old people. And I was you treat those with something called an intramedullary nail, which is just like a big piece of metal that goes down the middle of the femur, like in the hollow part. And I put in, it's a long rod that goes down the middle, and then there's a helical blade that goes into the neck and into the head. So it kind of looks like this essentially, but metal. I don't have one.
He's
I have one in my drawer. I was thinking about operating on my cat later.
And I got the portion in the head and neck, but I missed the part that goes through the femur. Because if you think about an X-ray, it's just like a 2-dimensional picture of a 3-dimensional thing.
Yeah.
So it looked like it was in, but it was really behind the femur. And I was like really embarrassed. Like I'm still embarrassed about it. But that was like the first real surgery that I did, and I totally botched it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So is that just like a back it out, back in?
Yeah.
Like is it kind of like, I mean, I know it's not like putting a screw in the wall, but is it?
It's almost exactly like that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's like missed the stud, go back in. Okay, we're good now.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah. And the person suffers none from that.
None. Other than they have like, it's like a 15-minute longer procedure or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. But in terms of like recovery and stuff, though, none. Like physically.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Interesting.
Nothing like that.
Where you're like, this is like drilling in there really easy. Like this.
Well, so I drilled into the bone, but
wait, so real quick, and pardon my, but like, are you literally using like mechanical drills?
Yeah.
Okay, so wow.
So it's literally like missing a stud.
I should have just pulled this out. This is like,
look at, dude, you could be a starting strength coach. Look at that. Look at
real
that
human bone.
Let's talk about mowing arms.
Yeah.
He took it home.
Yeah.
That was
this is from that surgery.
Yeah.
I took the femur.
Pretty sick, huh?
He didn't get it. Yeah.
And here it is.
No, you should explain
So
it.
no long-term issues.
Look at him getting out of bone to actually try and teach us, and then we just roast him. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Love it.
I'm sorry.
No, sorry.
As I like to say, I'm sorry, pal.
Yeah, that's right.
Trey, hit him with like a deep sports question. Trey likes to go into the weeds. We've been trying to do sports. Trey likes to talk about like what the freshman from the top high school in Arkansas that is potentially interested in Texas A&M is eating for dinner 3 nights a week, and what his coach's name is. Like Trey really gets down in there.
He'll hate sports.
Yeah, I don't
do you
watch
really?
sports. Yeah.
Okay.
He has no idea. It's
Next topic.
it would
Next
be
slide.
a very
Next slide.
short. It would be a very short answer.
Yeah.
Sees too many injuries.
Wait, so you fish though? That's what I want to bring up. You fish.
I was gonna. You like to fish.
I like to fish. Yeah.
Okay.
So I just went. We've been to Alaska several times, probably 4 or 5 times now to go halibut salmon fishing. I just got back from Hawaii yesterday, and we went deep sea fishing there, which was cool.
Whoa.
Caught yellowfin tuna and striped marlin. And
that's what you sent the photo of, right? The striped marlin.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. But that was fun. It was
So
cool.
do you?
So I just like randomly booked this charter. I had no idea.
That's where my
who this
question
guy
was
was.
headed. Yeah.
Yeah. And this guy was just wild. He was like a weird combination of like, he was like a drill instructor and like a really hard coach. And he was just like degrading you the whole time.
That's how my guide is. That's exactly how my guide is, except the redneck version.
Yeah. Well, this guy, he was like, it was me, my brother-in-law, my father-in-law, and my brother-in-law's wife. And I think he was like trying to like rein in his like inappropriate comments sometime, because the guy is like the deckhand or whatever, the other guy there who was helping us out, he had like gotten his shirt all bloody from like prepping this tuna. And so he took his shirt off, and the captain was up at the, whatever you call it, steering the boat, and was like, "Oh, you need another shirt." And the guy was like, "Why, do you have one?" He's like, "Yeah, I got one up here. It says I like big gay men." He like looked at my sister-in-law. I was like, "Gay men." Like, you could tell he was clearly trying to say something way worse than that.
Yeah.
And then that was
way
like
worse.
His filtration of gay men.
And you stood up on the deck and said, "We're from Texas. We can take it."
I was like, "Hey, I'm a big gay man."
Yeah. 5'11", 225 with a 515 deadlift. I once missed a femur screw. What say you? That's good.
We caught fish.
Yeah.
We caught, four fish.
Nice.
Those are big fish too.
So,
yeah.
Seriously, so I've done charter fishing. And then like lately I've been picking up fly fishing. So I got hire a guide. Then I try to go by myself. Would you say like when you like to fish, you like to like go out and make sure you have success? Because there's nothing I like better than fishing with like my guide. When I go with my guide, I got to shout him out. John Conitz, Harris Fly Fishing. Like, I catch fish. I catch big fish. I learn a ton. Like, it's amazing. When I go by myself, like I went with my oldest brother today, I caught one nice rainbow. And then like second fish I caught was like that big. And I was like, hell yeah, brother. I caught that by myself. Like, this is amazing. But I was also like, I understand why some people would never want to view fishing from this. Cause I go in with like, okay, what do I have to learn? What are the bugs doing? Like, what's the water doing? How can I conserve this country for Jeff? I'm thinking about all the big topics, but when you fish, would you say there's like your brother clearly is taking up bass fishing to the point where like he can go by himself and catch whatever. Yeah. Do you do that? Or are you like, hey, I really enjoy being on the water. I'm a busy doctor. When I go, I want to bring in a striped marlin.
I mean, I honestly don't fish in Lubbock at all. There's a pretty good bass lake actually, like not far from here. I don't even have like any equipment here to do that.
I know you can get some.
Yeah.
Frisco.
I could, but
Race Fish Emporium.
If I go, I just like when we go to Alaska, I'm not really bothered if we don't catch very much. It's like, I just like being out there and hanging out with family and, being on a boat in the middle of Alaska. And Hawaii was the same way, like being in Hawaii, just hanging out and
it helps if you catch stuff though. Yeah.
It helps for sure. Yeah. It helps me catch stuff.
So before we like wrap up and talk about his financials and what his plans are going into the next tax season, any saved rounds from anybody? Quick shots. You good, PJ?
What's your favorite bone?
Ooh,
dude, this is like not an uncommon interview question for orthopedic residency.
Wow! And you just answer and say, hilarious. Big gay men.
I don't know.
Potential sponsor.
Yeah. Big caveman.
BGM.
Yeah. I don't have a favorite bone.
Okay,
Probably
no favorite
like
bone.
to fix maybe like I like tibia plateau fractures. I think those are kind of cool. Or femur fractures. Those are cool.
Okay.
Big ones.
I mean, you have a femur
What's the
in your
most-
desk, so
Yeah.
The most overrated bone. If you're like, man, we don't need this bone. Get this bone out of here.
yeah,
I'm
like
tired
you
of
know
this
how
bone.
you know how they just pull the appendix out. Like you don't
Yeah.
need that. Oh, gallbladder, useless.
Yeah.
You don't need to filter bile.
Most. I mean, fibula. Like I feel like the fibula is not. I mean, it's important, but it's not like vitally important. Like some of the stuff that you do for reconstruction, you take something called like a fibula autograft, where you just a vascularized fibula, where you just take the vascular pedicle of the fibula and you can cut out that section and move it somewhere else.
I thought you were like autographing bones when you cut people
It's
open.
got like
It's like Caleb was here. Yeah.
No, autograft, not
Oh,
graft.
autograph.
Yeah.
Trey,
Like, here's
the
my John
homeschool guy
Hancock.
over here was with you.
Yeah.
Wow. So you don't even need it.
I mean, you need parts of it, but you can do without it, I guess. Yeah.
Nice.
Trey, you got to save around for your little brother.
Oh man. Hey, who got the hotly contested? Who got the buzz cut first?
Me, for sure. Yeah. Still
Agree
rocking
to,
it.
agree to disagree. you did take it to the extreme here recently. So
Yeah, I was
Did
going to
you-
say, I don't think that's a buzz cut.
Yeah. That's
Did we want to talk about this this story of Trey stabbing her sister? Or
Yeah, go
Yes.
for it.
Stabbing's a
So-
strong
so we don't-
word is
I'm not
stabbing.
forgetting
We
about this one.
don't have a say around, but Caleb does.
Hey,
Take
I've got
us
a few.
away.
far away.
I wrote
yes.
some questions down if you guys have some
Oh,
questions.
yeah.
Love
Oh,
it.
yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, so Trey was, what were you, like 5 or something? Old
I
enough
think
to
it was-
know.
I was
old
like
enough to know
4.
better.
That's not true.
He was probably like 16
I was 4.
Yeah, he like drove to this incident. No, he, my dad had given him a pocket knife, and I think he taught us to whittle or something. And Trey went up behind my sister and was playing G.I. Joe and like put it on her neck and cut her throat. And she had to
Dude,
go get stitches like in her. It was like a
he
quarter
cut her
of an inch.
throat?
Yeah, it was like a quarter of an inch away from her jugular vein.
Okay, you were a
He knew
little
what he
baby.
was doing.
You know, Can't even remember it. Caleb was a little
I
baby.
remember.
Caleb
I
had
was
little
trying-
It
diapers
scarred
on.
him.
Yeah,
It scarred him, dude.
Yeah, I was traumatized.
Dang.
Yeah.
Trade
because I turn around and I go, Caleb, you're next. Yeah, keep your mouth shut. That's not true.
Yeah.
Trey the murderer. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what
Appreciate
questions you got for us, Caleb? Look at this guy
Okay,
coming
let's see.
prepared. Talk about being a doctor.
So Jordy,
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
you mentioned a couple of times you studied music, I think, right?
Yes.
Drumming.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was reading this book last week on vacation, and he had this quote in this book that I thought was interesting. He was like, from the point of view of an architect, and he was like, basically like everything in life is mathematics, and music is applied mathematics, and architecture is like applied music of math. And and I thought that was interesting, and I was wondering if you use like what you learned studying music like day to day, or if you think about it at all after graduating.
Okay, Terrence Howard. Jeez.
Oh man, yeah, that's a deep
Pal,
question.
Dr. Pal.
I'm gonna attempt to have somewhat of an intelligent answer here, but I do think that there's a relationship between music and math. There's I wouldn't call it formulas, but there are rules, there's structures, there's things that work and things that don't work. You can obviously bend the rules later, but typically, like, hey, if you're in the key of C, you're probably going to be playing G and F. Like, it's just kind of the structure of things. It's almost like a formula. And so I do think that there's a lot of math components or like related kind of math things. In terms of what I use from music school, I mean, besides like actually like playing, I would say that it was all around the skills you learn from performing. So because you're on the spot, you're in front of a lot of people, you can't mess up, the pressure's on. So just that process of being in a high pressure situation, having to prepare for it, having to prepare so much that you can do it when you're nervous, all of that, understanding how to improvise when you mess up on stage in front of a bunch of people and try to save it. I would say that just learning how to handle those situations helps you with a sales conversation or, probably, anything,
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Cool. Good answer.
Big music guy. That was an intelligent answer.
That was my best shot,
That was
dude.
good.
My favorite bone is a femur.
Yeah. All right. Grant.
Oh no.
What would you say most difficult and rewarding parts of starting your own business are, and what do you wish someone had told you prior to starting your own business?
Oh, that's a good question. I'll have to think about it for a second. Okay. I think, should I go difficult for it first?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dealer's
Okay.
choice.
'Cause that's what comes to mind. I think difficult, what I didn't realize, and maybe this is partly in part being a Marine. So I think one of the reasons I started a business is because of Marine. It's make a decision, go do it. And it's you see an opportunity, you're I should do this. The other thing that's set up in Marine Corps structure is Jeff's the CEO, I'm the XO. Jeff, you're dead. Oh, look, there's this other guy ready to do your job. And I think what I didn't realize in business, a small business like mine, is there's no next person. And yes, we have a great team, people are great, but in terms of the vision of the company, making sure things happen, going on at the size and stature that we are, it's hey, I want to go fly fishing for a day to a place with no signal. I'm going to get back home at 6 p.m. I'm going to be up till 2 a.m. Catching up on all the stuff that didn't get done. So knowing, not that I never really asked the question. That's also my fault. I never went into life thinking I'm going to own my own business. I just did it. But I think the difficult part is realizing that if you own a small business, you are the small business. And yes, you can have great people helping you along the way, but you're the guy. And if you don't do something, you don't do something. The rewarding side, I think, is double. Some people would say oh, you're your own boss. You can do what you want. You can go fly fishing on a Tuesday, whenever you want. And that is rewarding, to do. I would say that the first part, kind of cancels that out. But I think the rewarding part is your vision and your change. Right. And again, this may be coming from, of my background as a Marine Corps officer. It's you have a bad Marine, someone that has an important job and they're terrible. You can't fire them. You can't say, I don't want to use them anymore. You have to use them. You can go through a bunch of bureaucracy to try to get rid of them, but you can't just get rid of them. This also happens in big companies. As I talk to my brothers in places they work at. But I think being a small business owner, one thing that's nice is you find someone good. You're hey, we're going to do this together. I'm going to make sure it's worth your time. And it's gonna be great for you and it's gonna be great for me, and boom, it's good. And then you get someone that's not great, and you're just hey, yeah, I'm not gonna pay you to do this anymore. I mean, and this is down to our biggest business is our cast iron plates. And we had a foundry doing it, and we had a machine shop, and we had an e-coder, and the e-coder just started messing everything up. And I'm talking large amounts of money going through them. And I was just these people suck. Let me find another person in Wisconsin. Oh, these people are better. Boom. Switch to these people. And these people wait, what? We've been doing this for you for 2 years. I'm yeah. And all of a sudden you're terrible out of nowhere. And I brought it up 6 times and here's all this stuff. It's over. And I think having not oh, I can make decisions, but being able to make sure the service or the product that you're providing is good, and having complete control where it's tomorrow you can be hey, no, we're no longer meeting our objectives. I actually think that's rewarding. That's more rewarding than oh, if I want to sleep in till 9 on a Wednesday, cool, I'm a business owner. I don't that's whatever. But being able to make an impact in what actually drives your livelihood, I think that's probably the coolest part of it.
Cool. So sleeping in and firing people.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks.
Nice.
Thanks. Sound like a real winner over here.
Yeah. That was a good answer.
Jeff, obviously this podcast is riddled with your accomplishments.
Obviously.
Yeah. What would you say your proudest accomplishment has been? Or if you don't want to answer that, because I know you're very humble, what is a favorite book you've read recently?
Okay, I'm definitely gonna go with the book question.
Oh, come on.
Oh no. Actually, it's kind of like timely because I think there was a bunch of posts from the Commodore of the Marine Corps and the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps about being at Belleau Wood. I just read a book that was all about like the Battle of Belleau Wood. So famous battle, Marine Corps history, World War I. Marine Corps was kind of in a really weird spot in terms of like their just like existence, that like a lot of people were gunning for them to just kind of like, hey, we don't need them. We've got the Army. Like, let's get rid of the Marine Corps. And it was like a big battle that kind of like solidified the Marine Corps' like, need within the construct of like the military branches, and did a lot of great stuff. And it was like a just horrendous battle. A lot of people lost their lives. But really good book. I think it's called The Miracle at Belleau Wood. If anybody wants to go look that one up. Honestly, it's a battle you learn about like from OCS and TBS. They talk about it, but like didn't know the whole like backstory and the actual like importance of it. So that was super cool to kind of understand like where its actual position in the Marine Corps' history was. So I recommend that book.
Wow.
Way to screw around the accomplishments, Jeff.
The accomplishment is that I read a book. I mean,
on the 6th of June, 1918, Jeff Buege and the Marines stormed Belleau Wood.
Jeff
it's a
is
great book.
Just your sincerity is palpable through the screen. It's crazy. You're just a mensch. You're a real mensch.
Sometimes.
I don't really have a good one for Trey.
That's fine.
I wrote down what motivates you, but I don't know. You don't have the answer.
There's two things.
Yeah.
They're about this long, and they weigh about this much, and they cry for food.
I will say it was funny because I was talking to Jeff about when I was coming up with goals for weightlifting, and it was just one more pound than what Caleb lifted. So that was a good motivation.
There you go.
Brotherly competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
All right,
Nothing like
so Caleb, as you know, because you're a listener, longtime listener, first time caller, we couldn't do this without our sponsors. We have a sponsor. They're called BW Tax, and they can do your taxes no matter where you live, no matter what your business is. You can be a doctor. You can be a doctor, but not even a doctor yet because you're in residency and you still have to do a fellowship. But you're like, hey,
still a doctor, but yeah,
he's still a doctor.
Oh, my bad. You could be a doctor that still has to do his fellowship, but or wants to do a fellowship. But you're like, hey, what am I gonna do when it's no longer salary based, and it's now gonna be, maybe I wrote this publication. I'm in an academic setting, or maybe I got all these RVUs.
Yeah.
Maybe I got all these RVUs. Like, how do I manage this?
Maybe
I'm going to go work in a low socioeconomic area. What tax benefits for me? And you can call these guys. And I don't want to give you like all the stuff about them. I want to hear from you. If you were to tell someone where to get their taxes done, what would you say?
I think it's a great question. And it's one that not a lot of people are asking right now. And I think they need to be. And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but tax nowadays are so complicated. You're so complex. You feel like you need an advanced degree just to file them, but not anymore with BW. They're headquartered in the great state of South Carolina. BW Tax has all the resources of what the big guys have, but they bring kind of that small town feel that everybody really likes. And they'll help you meet any and all of your goals for your tax related needs, from tax planning and prep, business formation and business dissolution, you name it, and they'll do it. They aren't like the big guys, those big companies who give you the runaround with chat bots and cyber calls. They have real people there to serve you at the drop of a hat. And I personally know BW Tax. He's a great guy. He's doing great work. I think you should give him a call just to take the stress out of tax season. Get him on the phone or visit his website at bwtaxllc.com if you want to focus more on hitting maxes and doing less taxes.
Dude. That was the best ad they ever ran.
Gotta love BW. Gotta love BW.
What?
I didn't mean to take your doctorate degree away from you, by the way. That was an accident. Yeah. I wasn't listening in the beginning.
A lot of people do it, yeah.
That was great. Well, Caleb, is there any place you want to lead people if they need a femur surgery?
No.
Anything you want to advertise? None? Nothing?
No. I'm taking a hiatus from social media, so don't look me up or find me. Yeah.
Go to New York. Go to New York next year.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on. Caleb Gottlich, in Texas, everyone calls him Pal. Thanks for coming. Dr. Gottlich. I think you're the first doctor on the show. Am I right?
True.
Checks out.
That's true.
Unless the random guy from the Arnold was a doctor and we didn't know it. But I don't think so.
No, there's no way.
Yeah, thanks for being our first doctor on the show.
No
Thanks
way.
for really taking our ad read serious. We're going to give you 4 good dudes because you're just a good dude. So that's a great score.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for listening. If you come to South Carolina, I'd love to go fly fishing with you.
Give us a good okay.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
A little
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Little Texas drawl.
Very guttural. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Dang.
All right, man.
Nice.
All right. Thanks for having me on.
Later,
Thanks for
man.
coming.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
See you guys.
Good
Dang.
dude.
Good dude.
Good dude.
Dude, he's so much smarter than you.
Oh, dude.
Hey, Trey.
You know, what's funny? He's not even the smartest one in the family.
Yeah, the
What?
sister you tried to kill. I understand now.
First of all, who gives a 3-year-old a pocket knife?
Trey keeps getting younger. This story.
I was 5. I was 4. I was 3.
Now Trey's like, I was 3.
3 to 4.
I like tried to actually answer his question. He goes, "So you like firing people? Cool. And sleep until 9." I was like, "Wait, what?"
First of all, yes.
Great answer.
Is the answer. You know how satisfying it is to fire somebody who's not good at their job? Yeah.
Was I not clear?
Oh man,
Dude,
good
good stuff.
Good. Yeah. Thanks for having him on, Trey.
Yeah,
Jeff,
man.
can you have your brother next week?
Yeah.
Actually, I would love to have your dad on.
Ooh,
If you can make that happen, I would love to talk about like
Ooh.
1950s baseball.
he would love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big
Oh,
Paul.
yeah.
Was
He's
he-
definitely.
Was he captain?
He was a commander. So 05.
Commander. Okay.
05,
Okay.
yeah. Love to have Big Paul on the show.
Okay.
Yeah. That'd be
Big
great.
Paul.
We'd probably need to like pre-write his questions so he could do a little research. Although he wouldn't need to do research because
He would just-
he's like already researched it.
He was
his
just using
entire life.
photographic memory.
Yeah.
Is it just 1950s baseball or is it
No,
from
it's
50s
Pretty much
on?
No.
80s sports.
Well, okay. This morning I went outside and I was drinking my coffee and I looked at the pool and I took the cover off and I said, I think the water temperature is about 71 degrees and put the thermometer in. It was actually 71.2, but that's okay. In 1984, when I put the pool in, it was actually 71.4 degrees on this day. And yeah, anyway.
He sounds like
So
Ibis.
then I went back in and I verified in my Excel document that I've been tracking pool temperature, daily pool temperatures in.
Is your dad
Which is
eating
a real
Ibis?
thing. A real thing.
No.
Is your chat GPT?
Yeah. Yes. GPT. Yeah.
That's who I send all my questions to. Jeff's dad.
That's what it is.
It's just Jeff's dad.
Answer emails.
Grant bot on Slack is actually Paul.
It's just
Biggie.
Jeff's dad. Yeah.
Dude.
Jeff, I think we got like 2 topics and then we'll have to wrap it. So pick
okay,
your top
okay.
2 slides. Like, you know, at the end of a slide deck in a Marine brief and you hit the quad slide.
All right.
We're at the quad slide. Yeah.
I'm a big quad slide guy. I love it. I love a quad slide.
Love the quad slide.
So let's talk. I think Memorial Day. There were 2 subjects I think that were dropped in our little thread there about Memorial Day. One being like kind of, I don't know if it's a misconception, but some like civilians, and I definitely got some like texts and stuff like that of like, oh, thank you for your service, and it's like, I don't know, how do you approach that? Like, it's like, that's not what Memorial Day is necessarily about, but I also don't want to be like, hey, dummy, that's not what you should say to me.
Well, let me let Trey answer that first.
So whenever
And
I
then we'll
have
ask,
some,
and then we'll ask PJ because he'll have like an unbiased opinion.
I always take it kind of because that happens to me every now and then. And take it as just like I don't want to say educate the person, but just basically say, hey, thanks for that. But like today's the day just to remember those who didn't make it. So and I'd say Veterans Day is kind of what you're probably thinking of. That's the difference between Veterans Day, Memorial Day, and kind of separate those two out. But yeah, I try to keep it and remind people of like, hey, these are for all the people who didn't come home. So
Yeah. What do you think, PJ?
Oh, I mean, about Memorial Day?
Like, what did you think Monday? Like, you're a patriot.
Yeah.
You love this country. Yeah. You're made in USA t-shirt. No, but then like, I mean, you don't have to be somber, but I'm just saying, like, as someone that didn't like, so when people serve, whether you've been to combat and had someone die next to you or not, like, you definitely know someone or know a brother in service that lost someone, or you know someone that served and then killed themselves.
Yeah.
Like, you definitely know. So, like, I think we're kind of like biased as to like, oh, well, this isn't about thank you for your service.
I think most people just don't think about it. It's just like, memorial. We're remembering the armed forces or the people who served.
Yeah.
But I mean, I knew it was for the people who didn't come home.
yeah.
Yeah, I did know that, but I don't think it's ill. I don't think that people say that like out of ill will, or I don't think it's like malicious. I think it's just
No.
they don't think about it that much, which is actually just a luxury, you know?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
No, that's
Well
good.
said.
Yeah,
Well
no,
said.
I mean, I think I'd kind of take Trey's response depending on the person. Like, you know, like this is Memorial Day.
Grant just
like,
fires him.
Yeah, I just fire him. No, like I just like I try and tell him. I mainly think of in California for 5 years. I always talk to this Catholic school on every Veterans Day, and on Veterans Day, I would actually talk about Memorial Day. So they like knew the two difference, because I would ask them like, what is today about? And they'd be like, everyone that died. I'm like, no. And so then like you'd explain it to them. And then I also tell them like, hey, it's a good thing to be aware about, because they're like, you probably know someone that served and they probably know someone that died. Right. Like, I mean, I think of head yell leader, Texas A&M, Grant Castleberry's dad, F-18 pilot, Beaufort, South Carolina, 1988. Collision in training, you know, died when Grant was 2. And so, you know, when I think of Memorial Days, I think of men like that. I think of like guys that I have known of that have died, guys that I've served with that have killed themselves. And I, you know, I think of it from that realm. So I just try to tell people like, hey, it's different, but at the same time, I'm never offended when someone's like,
Thank you for your
Memorial
service.
Day. Yeah. Happy Memorial Day. I'm like, oh, you know what? Like, they realize today is about the military and they thought of me. They mean well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, people probably should know more, you know, like probably important to keep in mind, but I just don't think it's top of mind.
Yeah. What was the other part in there?
The other one,
It was more fun.
Did you do a little moto run on
Yeah,
Memorial Day?
Yeah, kind of, but no. But also, yeah. So it was actually Saturday before Memorial Day.
Okay.
I was like, I need to do a little low Leo. And so I was just I'd do this jog. It's like 2 miles out and back. And after 1 mile, like you get on this trail. And so I hit this trail. And if there's like a run going on, there's usually signs like all the days before, like on this day, there'll be this run. Like they just warn you, but I haven't been running. So I'm going and I'm like low and slow, baby, cooking a pulled butt barbecue like Jeff Biggie. Hey, it's not about the speed, it's about moving the legs. And I hit that part of the trail and I just see Army flag, Marine Corps flag, you know, police, firefighters, right? And I'm like going and I'm like looking at everyone. It's like, you know, this fire department, this police department, and they're like taking up the whole trail. So I'm on the grass on the side and they're walking actually and like carrying flags. A lot of them have weight vests on. And I'm just like looking for anyone Marine Corps. And I'm like speeding up, like without trying. I'm just like, I'm going faster. And all of a sudden I'm like, man, I'm like passing these people. And I get to the front and there's like 3 guys in the front and one of them is wearing a Desert Marine Corps boonie cover. And I actually have headphones in playing Fleet Foxes. That's what really gets me going when I run. and as I pass, I see the Marine Corps thing and I just go, "Hi, yet!" And like right as I pass, I just hear, "Yet, devil dog!" And I'm like, it's so motivated. I like sprint. But the bad part is like, I'm almost at my turnaround point. And so I'm like, I'm gonna have to go there, turn around, and come back fast. And so I go back, and when I'm coming up, the guy like recognizes me, and so he's like, "Hi, yet," and I'm like, "Hoorah!" And then like from all throughout the formation, people start saying "oorah" and "yut," and I was like, Marines are the greatest, like they're the greatest people ever. Like you just run by and go "yut," and they all get excited. So yeah, no, I was not a part of a moto run, but I ran by a moto walk, and I was motivated. So that's what matters.
Motivated.
Well, I knew you didn't do the Murph because you're anti-Murph, right?
Oh, he hates Murph.
Yeah.
Not anti-Murph.
Anti-Murph.
He hates
Yeah.
the Murph.
Hate the Murph. I did the
Hate
Murph
it.
so many times. Not anti-Murph. I had a client say that I was anti-Murph. He was like, "I feel like when I tell you I'm doing Murph training, you're anti-Murph." And I was like, no, 4 years ago, when it was your first month of starting strength and you were doing 300 air squats to prepare for Murph and wondered why your squat wasn't going well, I was just saying, well, it's because you're doing Murph every day.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hates Murph.
Big pro Murph guy.
man.
Funny story on that. Monday, I went fishing on Memorial Day with my wife, and the Battalion XO texted all the battery COs, and he was like, "Happy Murph Day, brothers. 35-pound vest, 42.16." And then like they all replied like with their times. And then I get off the water at like 1700, 5 p.m. for you non-military types.
Reply back with a fish.
As soon, yeah. I was like, oh, sorry. We went fishing. I named him Murph.
Here's my Murph. Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
Dang. That's a pretty good time for 35-pound vest. But
Yeah, I thought so too. But so was Mark
range of motion's
Zuckerberg.
always subject to scrutiny, you know.
So was Mark Zuckerberg's time.
Yeah. I did see a video. This is kind of a CrossFit talk here of Dan Bailey. Grant might know who that is.
Yeah, big time.
Doing Murph with 100 pounds. And it just looked awful.
Yeah.
Did in like 2 hours. But
What's your
that's
best
amazing.
Murph?
Oh gosh. I don't know. I'm sure I have something written down somewhere.
Dude, this guy's jacked.
Yeah, Dan Bailey's jacked. That was mine.
Oh my gosh. He's got
He's
massive arms.
OG CrossFit.
Yeah.
Actually, not the OS of G's, but pretty OG.
but pretty OG.
Yeah.
Not the Oist.
I don't know. I was usually around like low 40s.
Weighted or unweighted?
Weighted.
Yeah. So but I don't remember. I've done it weighted a lot. I was sub 30 unweighted.
Okay, that's good.
But like one time and but yeah, I haven't done it in
really
a long
good.
time. I actually thought about it because I saw like when they posted that, I was like, God, if I did Murph today, like, I don't have
I gotta do
3 hours.
this?
I don't have 3 hours. Anyway, next slide.
Let's see. I guess we kind of covered basketball. Now we got to cover hockey. It's talk about Florida, the state of Florida, and it, the rich
big-
tradition
Big
of
hockey
hockey.
state.
Former Floridian here. Shout out.
Do you know what the team name is of the team in the East Championship right now is?
There's no way.
Can you name 2 hockey teams from Florida?
No, not
Really?
at all.
One of them was in the city you lived in.
Miami.
No, you go by the Florida Panthers. Case closed. Not a hockey state. Funny, they're playing the New York Rangers, original 6.
It's Florida. There's no ice.
Rival of Boston. So like I should pull against them, and I'm like, I want the Rangers to win.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe 2 years in a row the Panthers knocked the Bruins out, but I'm just like, no one in Florida cares
Who's
about
counting?
hockey.
No.
No, yeah. Kaylee and I are usually pretty anti-Florida teams, so
It's
like
2-2 in the
we're
third.
pulling for the Rangers in that one for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For any
But they
reason?
also have a lot of championships. Like,
Are you you're just anti-Florida for
Lightning?
any reason in particular? You just don't like
He hates the Everglades.
He doesn't
he's
like
just kinda
DeSantis'
trash state.
boots.
Yeah. Just a generally trash state.
Potential sponsor, Florida.
You know why he hates it? Because we're from the South.
Florida's not the South.
Not at all.
Florida is Florida.
No,
Florida is
it's
its own
South.
thing. Just like I think Texas is its own thing.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you hate Texas too, right? Is that what you said?
I
Oh,
don't hate
okay.
Texas.
Good, Jeff.
As long as you still live there, I won't hate
The
it.
nice
That's
thing
the
about
only
the nice thing
redeeming
about
quality.
The only redeeming quality is
the
the
nice thing
Gottlich
about
family.
Texas is everything's bigger.
That I have found to be the case.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Including the DFW nightmares.
Oh, love DFW.
You got any save rounds on that list?
Notre Dame lacrosse was an interesting one I saw on there. My theory on it, though, in my head that I created was that you were at some restaurant, someone came in wearing a Notre Dame lacrosse shirt. You said something to them. They said something back to you. And then like you struck up this big, long conversation. And now you're like going to be the strength and conditioning coach for the Notre Dame lacrosse team.
Everything was true until the last part. But yeah, what did they win, like 4 years in a row or something?
I don't know. Did they?
Yeah, they're like really good and they're talking like they're good. And yeah. No, I was hoping actually Nolan wanted me to talk about lacrosse. So I wasn't talk about lacrosse.
Oh, nice.
So hopefully Nolan made it this far. I actually forgot what my main takeaway was, but I did run into someone wearing a Notre Dame hat and I was like, go Irish. Cause like, I really like to, when I see like fans to like say their thing, cause you immediately know if they're a fan. And I'll be the first to say that red hatters are the worst of this. Like you see a Boston hat walking down the sidewalk of Greenville. I'll be like, go Sox. They don't even look at me. They have no idea what's going on. But every now and then
It's more
like,
fashion.
Go Sox. And then they'll be like, actually go Celtics. And you're like, oh yeah, that guy knows. It's a fashion piece. And so I like to do that with teams like go blue. Actually, I will say Michigan fans are pretty good. If you see a Michigan hat and you say go blue. So I just like to do that. And I said, go Irish. And he was like, go Irish lacrosse. And I was like, I know nothing about lacrosse. And that was the wrong thing to say. So I was educated on how they're champions, but yeah.
It's funny you say that. Lacrosse was big in Indiana when I was growing up. Like I know a lot of people who played lacrosse. I don't know. I just made that connection.
I only knew the guys from Duke lacrosse.
Hey.
Ooh. Not well. Yeah.
Not well.
No, well, I didn't know well. Only there with my age.
Yeah.
Who put lacrosse on the map? Duke.
Nolan Hickey. I watched one lacrosse game.
Was
It was
Hickeys?
it was Cats.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
did they play? Kansas?
No, UConn, right?
UConn. Same
Was
thing.
it UConn?
Wildcats.
I think it was UConn.
Yeah. No, it wasn't.
She was
It's
Ah.
up in it's up like
Northeastern.
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 Yeah. It's up in like
Yeah.
Illinois. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the mascot right. Big mascot guy. Look
Yeah.
who showed up just in time for a while.
Hey.
Hey, say Nolan.
You mean Northwestern?
Northwestern.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
I was in
Northwestern.
like Eastern.
I was like-
Yeah, I'm thinking of New England.
It's a purple team, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Northwestern.
Yeah, purple.
I was like,
Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah.
Up north.
Dang. Actually, I'm pretty upset I messed that one up.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
okay.
I'm not gonna sleep tonight.
Well, if you made it this far, we appreciate you listening. Big thanks to Caleb Powell, Gottlich for coming on the show. Trey, thanks for hooking up a guest. Yeah, the
Yeah.
doctor. Yeah, my bad. Dr. Gottlich.
MD.
At this point of the show, what we've always done, well, we'll continue to do. We've done it 21 times. Well, actually, I guess it's happened 19 times.
Yeah.
Because someone decided to have two babies and missed 2 episodes.
Mm.
But at this point of the show, we turn it over to the doctor's brother. Tell us what we can do.
What episode is this again?
022.
022. All right, guys. Just want to take this time. I want to thank both of our listeners for making it this far. This has been the
Okay.
podcast. Oh, that sounded great, everybody. I'd like to thank our sponsor, BW Tax, as
Great
always.
guy.
Great human, good at
Love
taxes. B-Dub's the best. Thank him for sponsoring this and keeping the lights on. Also want to say that we are powered by the Strength Co. Are we still?
Yeah, we
If
still
not,
are.
yeah, okay. I just want to make sure. Still
Amen,
powered
brother.
by the Strength Co. If you haven't yet, stop. Take this time to go to the Slack channel. How do you go to the Slack channel? I'm actually kind of. How do you get there?
If you're watching YouTube, there's a link right there in the description. Otherwise, go to www.thestrength.co, click media, scroll down the bottom. It says, do you want help with your lifts? And you're there.
And shoot us an email saying okay, and Grant will give you 10% off, right?
Yep.
5%. Yeah, 10.
No,
We'll say 10.
$10 off. Use the code.
Oh, $10. Yeah.
10%. That might be more than
$29. It's
10%.
19 for life. So if you're a member for a year, I can't do math, but that's a lot of savings.
Like I said, hop on that Slack channel. We'd love to hear from you. Love to see what you got going on in your life, get some good feedback and some good lifting tips or just some good life tips and have some fun in general. Please find us on Instagram. That's it. I think we're only on Instagram now, right? X.
No, but where should they just go? And get it
The
all?
easiest way if you want to go to all the links, go to www.theokpodcast.com, click all the links there, go to our YouTube, click subscribe on there, leave a comment so I can comment back. I'm very petty, so I will follow up. Other than that, do we have a BW text we'd like to read? Attention orders.
Yeah. What? Attention orders, just a second. So stand by for attention orders.
Stand by.
As you know, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel. We're calling family members to get as guests. So if you think you're interesting, you have a good and a good podcast to read, reach out to us. You can DM us on IG. You can DM me, and we'll get you on here. But to proof that we get our friends on here, here's a good ad read for our sponsor, BW Tax, from Andy Herbert in New Jersey. I hope I pressed the right button.
Hey there, listeners. Feeling lost in the maze of tax season? Let BW Tax Advisors be your guide. They specialize in guiding individuals and small businesses through the complex world of tax and accounting, using proactive financial planning and innovation. Think about the taxes and stress. Visit bwtaxllc.com to schedule your consultation today. Or else.
I love a good pork roll.
Or else.